Ever find yourself on the edge of your seat during like those big battle scenes in movies?
Oh, totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Like
wondering,
explosions.
yeah,
The
how do they
tanks.
make it all look so real?
Right.
Well, we do too. And
Yeah.
today we're going behind the scenes a bit
Uh-huh.
to talk about the often unsung heroes
Hmm.
behind all that firepower,
Okay.
artillery officers.
Yeah, that's right. And it's funny when you say artillery, most people, I think, they picture like,
Cannons.
yeah,
Uh,
cannons and not much else.
like the Civil War.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the reality is very different from those old-timey images.
Okay, so let's unpack that because
Yeah.
you've given us some really in-depth materials here
Uh-huh.
from RoleCatcher's career library
Yes.
about what it actually takes to be an artillery officer now, today, in this day and age.
Right.
And spoiler alert,
Mm-hmm.
it's not just about brute force anymore.
No, not even close.
Right.
This isn't your grandfather's artillery. We're talking about a field that's advanced more rapidly, I think, than most people even realize.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Think like information warfare,
Wow.
cutting-edge tech, like AI analyzing terrain to predict like enemy movements.
Oh, wow.
And robotics changing how troops and equipment are even deployed.
It's amazing to think that a field with such a long history, right,
Right?
is now like
At the forefront.
at the forefront of all these technological advancements.
Exactly.
It's kind of like a sci-fi thriller almost.
Exactly. And that's actually what's fueling a huge demand for, skilled professionals.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, because you need people who can not only understand this very, very advanced tech,
Oh, yeah.
but then also use it to make strategic decisions
Right.
in really high-pressure situations.
So it's not just about like dodging enemy fire.
No.
It's about, like you said, processing information, making these strategic calls,
Yeah.
managing all this complex technology,
It's a lot.
all at the same time. That's a pretty intense combination
Mm-hmm.
of like brain power, bravery, and like you said, technical expertise.
It absolutely is. And in fact, one of the sources we're looking at here
Yeah.
describes the work environment as often hostile,
Oh, wow.
with a likelihood of battle, unpredictability,
Right.
the constant need to be alert and adaptable.
Right.
This isn't a desk job,
No.
you know.
Makes sense given the nature of the job, right?
Right.
They're operating in these high-pressure situations
Yeah.
where split-second decisions can have like huge consequences.
Yeah, you're talking about life or death a lot of times.
Exactly.
they'll say, and that's just like
The tip of the iceberg when
Yeah.
it comes to the challenges and responsibilities of an
Yeah.
artillery officer.
Okay, so let's get into those challenges then.
Okay.
What are we talking about here? What does it really take to excel in this line of work?
So the RoleCatcher guide
Yeah.
emphasizes
Yeah.
a really crucial balance.
Of hard and soft skills.
Okay.
On the technical side, you need a really deep understanding of military tactics, different types of weaponry,
Mm-hmm.
surveillance techniques,
Right.
and how it all works together.
And of course, on top of that, you need to be able to constantly be adapting
Yeah.
to new technologies,
Yeah.
and new strategies,
Yeah,
especially with AI and robotics playing a bigger and bigger role.
all the time.
It's a lot to keep up with.
It is. And that's actually,
Yeah.
that's where the soft skills come in.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about these soft skills, because when I think artillery, I don't think like soft skills.
You don't think like empathy and,
All right. Exactly.
Yeah, it might seem counterintuitive, but trust me on this.
Okay.
The guide really emphasizes that things like leadership, communication, strategic thinking,
Okay.
just as important as technical expertise.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
In this field?
Big.
Okay, so give me an example.
Okay.
How do those soft skills actually come into play
Okay.
in the life of an artillery officer?
So picture this.
Yeah.
You are leading a team
Okay.
in a really high-stakes combat situation.
Oh, wow.
Things are chaotic.
Yeah.
The pressure is on.
Right.
You need to be able to communicate clearly and effectively with your team,
Mm-hmm.
make very quick decisions based on very limited information,
Wow.
and adapt to what are very often rapidly changing circumstances.
Right.
And that's where those soft skills
Yeah.
become absolutely essential.
So you need like nerves of steel
Yeah.
and the ability to think clearly under pressure.
Yes.
And that's not something they really teach you in a classroom.
You're right. And that's actually one of the things that makes this career path so challenging, but
Yeah.
also so rewarding.
Right.
It's not for everyone, but
No.
for those who are drawn to this kind of work,
Yeah.
it can be just an incredibly fulfilling experience.
Yeah.
Now, to give you a better sense of what this career path actually looks like day to day.
Okay.
Let's maybe explore how these skills
Okay.
come into play as an artillery officer, climbs the ranks
Okay.
from entry level to more senior leadership.
Yeah, because I'm already kind of wondering how those responsibilities, those challenges, how they change, how they evolve
Okay.
as you move up
Okay.
in the ranks.
So let's start at the beginning, shall we?
Let's do it.
The RoleCatcher material does a really good job of breaking down these different career stages.
Okay.
So like at the entry level, picture this. You're fresh out of training. You're ready to apply what you've learned.
Right.
You're assisting with something called target acquisition.
Target acquisition. Okay, yeah, that sounds important.
Yeah.
So what does that actually involve?
It's all about pinpointing where the enemy is.
Okay.
Which, sounds simple enough, but it's
Right.
way more complex than it sounds.
No.
You're using all this high-tech equipment, like radar, surveillance drones,
Wow.
to gather intel and then relaying that information.
Right.
So the artillery strikes are, accurate.
Yeah, you don't want to miss.
Exactly. And that's why it's such a high-pressure role.
Oh, I bet.
Because,
Yeah.
lives depend on you getting it right.
Wow, so even at the entry level, like
Wow.
the stakes are high?
Huge.
You're not just like learning the ropes.
Oh.
You're like directly involved.
You're thrown right in.
Wow, in these like critical operations.
Absolutely. And on top of all of that,
Yeah.
you're also getting familiar with, the arsenal of weapon systems
Right.
from, howitzers to rocket launchers,
Okay.
each with its own, complexities.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a steep learning curve,
Yeah.
but an exciting time,
Okay.
as you're gaining this practical experience.
So you've mastered those fundamentals. You've proven yourself.
Right.
What's next?
So that's typically when you step into the role of, a junior officer.
Okay.
And now, instead of assisting,
Yeah.
you're actually leading a team,
Okay.
often in the heat of combat.
Wow.
You're making tactical decisions,
Right.
adapting to constantly changing situations,
Right.
and just ensuring that your team is operating cohesively, under pressure.
Yeah. It's a big leap to go from like supporting a team to leading one.
Yeah.
Especially in that kind of
Oh, yeah.
like environment.
Huge leap. And that's why,
Yeah.
all the leadership skills that we talked about
Yeah.
become so crucial at this stage. You need
Okay.
to inspire confidence in your team.
Yeah.
Make, again, split-second decisions that can mean,
Huge decision.
oh, huge, the difference between success and failure.
Right.
And just handle all of that pressure
Yeah.
with composure.
So leadership by fire.
You got it. Yeah, literally.
Literally. And what I'm hearing like throughout all of this
Yeah.
is that like artillery is not just about that, like
The technical.
technical expertise. It's about that, but it's also about, like you were saying,
Right.
developing like a really unique combination of like leadership,
Yeah.
strategic thinking, and like
Good.
courage
It's-
under fire.
Yes.
Like all of that.
It's the whole package.
Yeah.
And then as you continue to excel, demonstrate your capabilities, take on even more responsibility,
Okay.
you might find yourself on the path to becoming a senior officer.
Okay, so you've reached like the top tier.
You got it.
What does that look like? What are you doing day to day?
Okay. So
I imagine the scope of responsibility is
Oh, it's huge.
hugely different.
It's totally different. At this level, you're orchestrating large-scale operations,
Wow.
often coordinating with multiple units.
Wow.
And you're even advising, high-level command on strategic decisions.
Wow.
So you're thinking several steps ahead,
Right.
anticipating the enemy's moves.
It's like a chess game.
It is like a chess game,
Well,
except,
higher stakes.
higher stakes. Yeah.
Oh.
And then you're also mentoring junior officers, passing on your experience and your knowledge,
Right.
shaping the next generation of artillery leaders.
Right. You're shaping the future.
That's right. You are shaping the future. And on top of all of that,
Wow. So you're busy.
you're busy. You're also constantly learning and adapting to new technologies and any new threats that might pop up.
It's remarkable how this career path demands that you're
I'm loving.
evolving and that you are, yeah.
Always learning.
It's not just about mastering one thing. You're
Right.
constantly learning, you're adapting, you're facing new challenges throughout your whole.
All the time, yeah. And that's actually one of the things that these RoleCatcher materials really highlight really well. They actually even dive into the, very specific interview questions
Oh, that's right.
that you might encounter, if you were to pursue this career path.
Yeah. They've got this whole section, right,
Yes.
on interview prep.
Yeah.
with like all these sample questions
Tons of them.
that are really specifically geared toward
Aspiring artillery officers?
Yeah, and some of them are like pretty intense.
Oh, yeah.
They go way beyond like the typical tell me your strengths and weaknesses.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because
Come on.
Yeah, because the interviewers are looking for a very specific set of skills and attributes that aren't always easy to assess, in a traditional interview.
So, like, give us a taste of those questions. Like, what kind of curveballs are we talking about here?
Okay, so like one that really jumps out at me is, how would you ensure the safety of your team and civilians during artillery operations?
Oh, wow.
Which, pretty heavy question.
Yeah.
Both literally and figuratively.
Yeah, no kidding.
It really gets at, the immense responsibility that comes with this job.
Yeah. That's not something you usually get asked in a job interview.
Right.
Like, it's...
So tell me...
if you're applying to be like, I don't know, like marketing manager or something.
Well, right, exactly. How many civilians are you okay with, hurting?
Right. Yeah, and it really highlights, like, this need to balance, like, tactical execution.
Yes.
With minimizing,
collateral damage.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then you've got, some of the more tactical questions like, how would you prioritize targets during an artillery mission?
Okay.
Or like, what's your approach to risk management in like really unpredictable battlefield situations?
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Because those aren't just like theoretical, right?
No.
Those are
real life.
Yeah, ripped from the headlines.
Decisions that these officers have to make. Every single day.
Yeah, it makes you realize like the level of strategic thinking.
Oh, it's huge.
That's required here.
Right.
That's
intense.
Yeah, it's intense. And that's where, I mean, going back to like the RoleCatcher resources here.
Yeah.
It's like those tools are so valuable.
Oh, for sure.
For anyone, I imagine, navigating this career path. Because
absolutely. And they've got this like massive database of interview questions that are tailored to, different roles, different industries. And they've got these AI-powered practice modules where you can practice, simulate the actual interview.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can go in feeling a little bit more prepared.
So it's like having like a secret weapon.
Right.
To like help you prep for these really important conversations.
Yeah.
But it's not just about memorizing the right answers.
No, and actually they emphasize that a lot. It's more about really understanding what these interviewers are looking for.
Yeah.
Crafting compelling answers that are authentic to you.
Right.
That you really believe in, and projecting confidence even when you are under pressure.
Right.
Which, let's be real, job interviews are stressful.
Yeah.
Nobody likes doing them, so.
It's good practice, though.
It is.
For like anything.
Exactly. And those are actually all skills that are super transferable to any high stakes interview, whether you're aiming for, a leadership role in the military or, even like the corporate world.
That doesn't matter. Yeah. So even for our listeners who are like not considering like a career in the artillery.
Right.
There's still some like good takeaways here.
Lots of them.
About, how to use these tools to, help you navigate the job market, hone your skills.
Absolutely.
Even just like improve your ability to think on your feet.
Love it. And they even have this browser plugin called RoleCatcher.capture.
Oh, cool.
Which basically like streamlines your whole job search from finding, jobs that you might be interested in to like helping you organize all of your applications.
I mean, nice.
It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. And it's again, it kind of speaks to how technology can be used in these unexpected ways.
Totally.
Even in fields like, we've been talking about artillery.
Right.
Which has this like long and very established history.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's very cool. And, it really speaks to the fact that like learning, it's constant. It never stops, no matter what you do.
Right.
We're in a world that is constantly changing. And so being able to adapt, learn new skills, embrace new technologies.
So important.
More important than ever.
So important. And it sounds like, in this field in particular, that's crucial.
Absolutely.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into the world of artillery officers, what's like the key takeaway?
I think it's that whether or not you ever, end up wearing a uniform, just understanding the skills and the challenges that, professionals in these kinds of demanding fields face
Right.
can really give you a new perspective.
On leadership, decision-making.
Leadership on decision-making, yeah.
Performing under pressure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that, those are all things that we can all, learn from and
100%.
take something away from. So
Yeah.
it's a good reminder that, even as the world becomes more and more driven by technology,
Right.
it's often like these human elements like courage, adaptability, strategic thinking.
It's the human element.
It's the human element that really, really make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
If this deep dive has, sparked your curiosity, head on over to RoleCatcher, explore their free resources. You might discover a career path you never even knew existed.
Absolutely.
Or, at the very least, gain some valuable insights to help you excel in your current field. Who knows? Your next opportunity might be right around the corner.